history of the Gongji Fukfu form begins with its creator, Ji Sim Sim Si. Originally, when he came to the south, he noticed that most of the southern style of Kung Fu used mostly shorthand maneuvers. He decided to expand on this approach and created a form that included some long-range techniques as well. What he decided to add in was the 18 Lohan Cheungkun techniques, which are known as the 18 Lohan long fist techniques, to add to the techniques of the southern style. The form he created had a bit of everything. It started with stance and internal training, and later had both hard and soft fighting techniques, both attack and defense, and both left and right techniques. Some forms are one-sided, such as the Yeung style Taigit Kun. Also, the form is interesting, having few repetitions of techniques. It contains techniques of the 5 animals and 5 elements, and is the root from which Hong Kun is derived. This is one reason that all traditional Hong Kun practitioners must learn this form. Also, the form has 157 movements and 85 points. The movements may be fused into combinations which make up the 85 points. The form Gongji Fukfu Kun. Hong He Gun was from a family that was well off. His grandfather was an official of the Ming government, originally surnamed Ju. Hong was a tea merchant before an incident with Qing officials drove him to learn from Ji Sim and become a rebel. At that time, he took the surname Hong in honor of the first Ming emperor, Ju Hongmo. Hong Kun traces back to this period when Emperor Yongjing reigned, which was from 1723 to 1736. There were 10 famous heroes of Silam that were famous at this time. They were called the Silam Sapgit. Their names were Hong He Gun, Lei Gamlan, Jie Fukshan, Leung Ah Chong, Dang Ah Sing, Tong Tien Gam, Fong Sai Yuk, Fong Hao Yuk, Fong Mei Yuk, and Wu Wai Kin. Not all of these men learned from the same teacher, but they became blood brothers after the destruction of the temple by the Qing government, who they vowed to overthrow. Hong He Gun is the most famous of the Silam 10 Tigers, but also others are well known, such as Fong Sai Yuk and Wu Wai Kin. After going into seclusion to avoid capture by the Qing government, Hong He Gun began to teach. He did not call what he taught Hong Ga just because of his adopted surname, but also because he did not want the name of Silam to get his followers in trouble with the government. Our branch of Hong Ga is called the Dang Fong branch. After Ji Sim taught Hong He Gun, Ji Sim Sim Si taught Hong He Gun. After this, the generations are as follows. As Luk Ah Choi, who was the training brother of Hong He Gun, he taught Wong Kei Ying, who was part of the original 10 Tigers of Guangdong. His son, Wong Fei Hong, also was a member of the later 10 Tigers of Guangdong. Wong Fei Hong's disciple, famous disciple of Dang Fong. This is the name that we derive the name of our branch from. All the schools that share Wong Fei Hong in the lineage are called traditional Hong Kun, and those that have Hong He Gun as founder but not Wong Fei Hong in the lineage are called village style or Hong Ga Jap. The Dang Fong branch is in the traditional Hong Ga category. After Wong Fei Hong, the generations are as follows. Dang Fong, Yun Ling, and our Sifu Yi Jiwei. Dang Fong was the younger classmate of Wong Fei Hong's well-known student Lam Sai Wing. Originally, like Western boxing and other famous systems, Chinese martial arts had only separate techniques used for fighting. Like in today's Western gyms, the instructors would teach techniques that suited the physique and talents of the individual student. Then, the student would practice the techniques over and over in combination, both with and without partners. Unlike Chinese martial arts, Western boxing now only allows fights between people of the same weight class and has rather strict rules in order to protect the safety of the practitioners. In Chinese martial arts, one must train to fight anyone. Though it's important to train in many different types of techniques, it is still required to master a handful of selected techniques suited to one's physique. After many techniques are learned, it becomes difficult to remember all of them, and it's also tempting for the person to discard those movements which don't suit him. This causes fighting methods to become unnecessarily limited and suited only to persons who teach them. The solution to this is to chain techniques into one choreographed unit. This unit is like a song, where the words are easy to remember as long as they go with music. If you have to remember 300 separate words, it would not be as easy to remember them. This not only solved the problem of remembering fighting techniques, but created beautiful performance art out of what used to be separate movements. There are two terms in Chinese martial arts that are important in the discussion of forms. Ying and Yi mean shape and intention, literally. The Ying of a form is its outer shape, or the way the moves look. The Yi of the same form is the idea that gives rise to that shape. Often, more than one shape can express the same idea. This is why there are often several legitimate ways of performing certain forms. As long as the principles are adhered to, the shape will be considered legitimate. It's a serious flaw to change the shape of a form without sufficient knowledge of its principles, because this could make your Kung Fu useless. To avoid letting your technique degenerate in this way, there is an ongoing tradition in Chinese martial arts. The practice known as Lin Gong, or training in basic exercises, combines fitness training and practice of the actual separate fighting techniques that are meant to go together. Not all moves and forms that appear next to one another are meant to be used together. Persons doing Lin Gong will practice single techniques and combinations every day for years on end, improving the quality of movements and employing them in sparring to get the proper timing and distancing. The idea that forms training alone constitutes the only important training in Kung Fu is wrong. The old Kung Fu saying, Lin Kun, Bat Lin Gong, Dou Lo Yat Cheng Hong, means that training in forms without training in basic skills will cause you to be useless in old age. And this is an age-old warning against relying only on forms practice. The most famous practitioner of Hong Ga in the 19th century was Wang Feihong. He was one of the Guangdong Ten Tigers. Originally, he became famous for the use of techniques called the Gao Do Kun. Gao Do Kun means 9 special fists. There are people who have the mistaken idea that Gao Do Kun means the 9 poison hands or 9 poison fists. This is incorrect. The 9 special fists means the 9 individual special techniques which he used especially for fighting. Later, his follower, Dang Feng, took the same techniques and taught them in the same way as Wang Feihong. Because of his stubbornness and desire to pass on the system only as Wang Feihong had taught it to him, he was known as Lo Wan Gu, or Old Square Mind. This referred to his stubbornness of wanting to keep things the same as the way Wang Feihong taught it. Dang Feng's successor, after Dang Feng died, he handed down the successorship to Yun Ling, and Arsivu Yu Jiwai took the same techniques that were taught by Wang Feihong and teaches them today. More important than just training forms, you have to remember, as we said before, that training the Lin Gong, or basics training, is one of the most important training methods in Chinese martial arts. There are different types of Lin Gong, training the Gong. You can hit punching bags, use the wooden dummy, and various other training methods, but some of the most important training methods are training single techniques or combinations of techniques. We intend to show several of the Gao Duk Kun, or 9 special fist techniques handed down by Wong Fei Hung. These techniques can be practiced both alone and together with a partner, so we intend to show a few drills that illustrate several of these techniques. The first drill we'd like to illustrate is called Chatsing Kun Fat. Literally means 7-star fist techniques. This is derived from the Ng Hang Kun, or 5-element techniques, 5-element fist techniques, literally.
Ready? 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 Ready?
The Chatsing Lin Wan Kun. The name refers to Chatsing, refers to 7 stars. The 7 stars are the pattern that the footwork takes on the floor. When you first stand there, you have the first 2 stars, and then each time you take a step is another star. Lin Wan Kun means connected fist techniques, meaning one after the other in a stream. So when it's delivered, the footwork forms the 7-star pattern on the floor. The Chatsing Lin Wan Kun combines the use of the 7-star steps on the floor with the Ng Hang Kun, or 5-element fist techniques.
Ready?
The following technique starts with the defender in a natural position, which is the place 99% of people will be if an attack suddenly comes in the street. This combines the first of the Chatsing Kun with the Tiger Claw. In the following technique, after the earth element technique, Master Yu will be opened in the lower part, which the quick opponent would try to take advantage of. When he tries to punch his lower section, he will use the crane hook to defeat the punch, and due to close distancing, he will follow with a Tiger Claw to the face. The next technique we intend to show is called Samsing Ngao Tan Toi. Samsing Ngao Tan Toi means 3-star hook and spring kick. It's usually used as a step-back sweep technique.
Ready? Ready? Ready?
The Samsing Ngao Tan Toi is called the 3-star sweeping technique because of the positioning of the feet. Where the feet originally are the 2 stars. When he steps back, that is the 3rd star where the sweep is performed. Whereas the first technique protected the upper gate, the next technique protects the middle gate. So he'll deflect against the middle attack and then sweep. The exact location of the sweep is determined by the opponent's position. In a higher stance, you may see him get swept in a higher position. Sometimes the sweep is right near the ground. Wu Dip Jiao means butterfly palms. Fu Jiao means Tiger Claw. The next drill will combine both Wu Dip Jiao and Fu Jiao together into one unit.
Ready? Ready? Ready?
This technique defends the middle of the front door. First, he used the butterfly palms, or Dip Jiao. Second, Hak Fu Jiao, or the black tiger's claw. Thirdly, he'll use Hak Fu Tao Sam, to black tiger steals the heart. The second one is a tiger claw to the face. The third one, you have to close the fingers close to the hand and strike. It's called the tiger palm technique to the solar plexus. The next drill we will illustrate makes use of the hawk ying, or crane shape. This is also another one of the 9 special techniques. In the following technique, whenever you use the crane beak or crane wing strike, you must use what's known as bin ging, or whip power. This we explained in detail in the last tape. It's a type of short power.
Ready? 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 Ready?
The technique starts with a rising movement of the earth element to protect the upper section of the front door. Secondly, a crane hook is used to defend the lower gate. If the person is close, you follow then with tiger claw, and if they are further away, you use the crane beak to strike. The next technique we would like to illustrate is called Qinji Sao. Qinji Sao, the name comes from the path that the hands take during the technique, describes the character Qin. So that's the origin of the name of the technique. This technique protects the upper and middle section of the side door.
Ready? 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 Ready?
In the Qinji Sao, the downward stroke is the first stroke of the character. Coming forward is the second stroke. After that, he escapes, and the downward motion forms the third stroke of the character Qin. The next technique, Qinji, protects the top and middle of the side door. When the person attacks, you have to lean back and sink the stance a little bit to protect your head. In the Qinji Sao, also the final attack, you can choose to attack the person's chest with a tiger palm or attack their neck with a regular flat palm. The following drill is from Saying, or the snake shape. It's used for chasing the opponent if he tries to withdraw. As soon as he withdraws, you attack his eyes. As soon as he moves to cover his head, you attack him below with the final technique.
Ready? 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 Ready?
In the following drill, the technique is used against a person who moves around quickly. As they chase you around, you distract them with the leg technique and attack their eyes. If they try to block the eye, you follow up with the final technique. After you learn all the drills, the next most important thing to realize is the essence of the Jinlok, the fighting skill. Fighting skill is composed of knowledge of distance, short and long distance, the angle the opponent can possibly come from. One way of organizing this material is called Seimun. Seimun means the 4 doors. There are 4 doors. One is in the front of the body. One is in the rear of the body, and the two side doors. Qin Hao Zhou Yao means Qin is the front door, Hao back door, Zhou left door, Yao right door. In each door, they divide into three sections: Sengbo, Zhongbo, and Habo. Sengbo is the upper portion from the nipples and up. Zhongbo, between the nipples and the navel about. Habo, anything below the navel. So each door is divided into those three sections. And the attacks and defenses are organized according to the position that the first attack comes in. Pedro is standing at the Sifu Yu's front door. As he moves around, he's moving around. Now the area he's standing in is his right door. As he moves around to the rear, this is now the section of known as the rear door, followed by the left door. These are the four doors, or Seimun. This technique shows an attack to the front door upper level. The following is the defense against a front door middle level punch. The following is the front door middle level kick defense. Sifu Yi is using the Dangong Qinji, or single Qinji, to deflect an attack to his side door upper level. The next technique uses the wood element technique to defend against a side door upper level hook. The next technique uses the same element to set up a defense against a kick, and following with a tiger claw. There are many techniques which are effective against backdoor attacks, but one of the easiest, and within the scope of this tape, the easiest way to deal with a backdoor attack is to turn to the side and make it a side door attack. The next thing we'd like to illustrate is called Gongji Fukfu Kun. Means the eye pattern tiger subduing fist form. Before we even get into doing the form, we'd like to reiterate the idea that the most important thing you can do is to improve your knowledge of the principles, the fighting skills, like the four doors and the different levels, and to practice the individual fighting techniques. This is what's going to make your Kung Fu useful in the street. The form is important too, but you should think of it more as a dictionary, as a source of materials that you can then take and practice for different situations that may come up. Sifu Yu is going to demonstrate the Gongji Fukfu form in its entirety. Up to the point where Sifu Yi stopped, we usually call the Gongji Kun. Where he's going to recommence is called the Fukfu Kun. So the two combined together form the whole form, Gongji Fukfu Kun. The following will be a slow motion version of the Gongji Fukfu. This opening portion is called Kyo-sao, or bridge hands. If you wish to break the form up, this is the spot where it would break. You would throw the punch and then bow out. If you choose not to break the form, you should continue straight through to side punch. It should be noted that during the part where Sifu Yi is in the horse stance, the portion of the form where he is facing to the rear conforms exactly to the same portion where he is doing horse stance facing to the front, so that if you need it as a reference, you can use the first horse stance part as a reference to learn the techniques, and then later when you practice it, you can do it in both directions. The following will be some key points and some applications from the form. It should be noted right away that some of the techniques in the form are not just for fighting, but are also used to train the body. So you make a tight fist, draw it in. You should inhale as you draw the hands up. The hands must be pressed down toward the navel area. This sinks the energy down to the dantian or navel area. You breathe and expand your chest like a balloon, and then squeeze shut while you exhale. Okay, this Kyusao is also good for training the strength of the forearms and also to circulate the energy to build up your internal power. The snake shape that follows is used to jab mainly at the eyes or throat. It gives you longer reach, but it is a somewhat weaker strike. If you want to really hit someone hard, you can alternately use the phoenix eye fist or the leopard-shaped fist. This bow is a famous bow. The fist represents the sun, the palm, the moon. In the character, when you put them together, you get the word Ming, which showed that the Silam disciples were followers of the Ming dynasty of China. This continues the foundation building part of the form. This practices the horse stance and to sink the chi to the dantian. The palms together shows that it's a Buddhist system. This is also for internal training, in and breathe out alternately. This is also used for training this part. The squeezing part trained the claw. Circulate your breathing, showing the golden scissor hand. This trains the forearm strength. Double back fist called Sapji Fungam. From the previous section, we will illustrate that the Bong Sao can be used to protect the front middle door. The following, taken from the previous section, shows him defending from an upper side door attack. He deflects, blocks the kick, and jabs to the throat. Using the same technique, if he attacks the side upper door, instead of using the finger jab to the throat, if you don't feel strong enough, you should use the leopard-shaped fist. The following section shows and teaches the methods for attacking in various directions, both front and rear, right and left. The hook hand is often used to release a grip. When the person strikes and the other person grabs their hand, they need both hands, not just the hook hand. The back fist that was done with the left hand is now transferred to the right hand for a combination. This is an elaboration of the previous technique, where the hook hand is combined with the butterfly palm technique. This next section is a repeat of the previous section, so it will be unnecessary for new applications to be shown. There's the Bong Sao, single bow hand, hooking palm, side elbow, snake-shaped hand, and back knuckle. This technique defends against a strong attack from the upper side door. Number one, you have to slide back, and number two, you must lean the body when striking back. The kick shown in the previous section is the Samsing Ngao Tan Guk shown in previously, where the person sweeps the person who's stepping in on him. The sweep is used when the opponent tries to step in between the legs. When he tries to step in, this is the hook portion of the kick. After he falls, or if you don't get what you want, the spring portion is used to kick the opponent either on the ground or on part of his body if you don't trip him at all. The following Sifu is demonstrating the Chinji Sao. Technique defends against the high side door and uses combinations of Chinji Sao. You don't have to perform all the movements exactly like they are in the form. After the previous section, there are strong uppercuts followed by a side punch. In this technique, we illustrate the Popeye Sao. After the side punch, it's deflected by the Bong Sao. When he attacks with the elbow, you must step back when doing the Popeye Sao to avoid getting hit. Then you follow with Tiger Claw to the face. This section is a reiteration of the previous section. For reference to the techniques, of course, you can look at the other side. We will not show applications again because the key points have already been shown when he was performing on the first side. Butterfly palms. The butterfly palms protects the front middle section of the front door. You deflect, and then you have to step to the side in order to protect the door. Then when you go to strike back, you must slide the body into your opponent in order to hit him back. Tiger Claw from the back door. Chinji Sao. Chinji Sao High side door block followed by a palm attack to the throat. For a stronger result, you can change the final move to Black Tiger Steals the Heart using the tiger palm to the chest. This illustrates the other side of the techniques, which are mirror images of the first side. This blocks a kick from the back door, and then the following section is a repeat of an earlier section to a new direction. This is the Gum Sing Gua Gok technique. Okay, after the block, this is the Golden Star hanging hook. He tries to grab, you release the grab and kick to the knee. After this is the end of the first part, called Gong Ji Kun. Okay, this series of attacks sequentially attacks the two different doors, middle and high door, to confuse the opponent in a sequence. Wu Dip Jung, or the butterfly palm technique. The first part of the move is the dragon swings his tail to deflect a kick. The technique can also be done using a backhand. Okay, he twists using the unicorn stance. Then he has to step in and propel his opponent backward. In this technique, the blocking technique must cover the head in order to deflect the opponent's attack and reach him in one motion. This you must sync with the back fist in order to lend power to your technique. This technique is one of the 85 points that we named earlier. It's a whole sequence of movements that can be fitted into one technique. Alternately, instead of following through exactly as in the form, you can just sweep him and finish him off in 2 or 3 techniques. Threading bridge, followed by a rip to the face, followed by a groin strike. Kick. To recover your balance, you can use the lower body snake shape. The lower body snake shape could be used to sneak in so that you can explode your stance into the next move. This technique was shown in previous sections. Although shown before, one of the key points is the snake tongue spearing the eye move shown here. Black Dragon swings his tail, turning, protects the upper door here. Now, Dan Gong Chin Ji, you can strike the neck or defend an upper part, strike the neck, and palm to the neck. Starting from the last move, if he foils his neck cutting hand, you have to try to sneak in with the palm strike quickly before he reacts. This is the leg dragging technique. It protects the middle door from a leg attack. This is some of the Chatsing Kun Fat. The sweep that we've seen before in the drills. Po Pai Sao. Tiger Claw we've seen before. The Golden Dragon trying his claw deflects against the back door grab. Then you twist and attack the groin. Palm strike, deflect low, high, grab the opponent and punch. Alternately, deflect low, high, escape from a hand grab and punch. Then, butterfly palms, as we've seen before, and back fist. As we've said before, techniques have to be altered to suit. He deflects low, hits, and uses the leopard-shaped fist to strike. The motion is exactly like a crane strike, but the leopard fist is a little stronger due to the shape of the hand. This technique, as we have shown before, isn't exactly like the form, And you can use the leopard-shaped fist to strike back. An alternate version of this technique uses the crane beak, which affords you more reach, but for beginners has less power. The following techniques have been shown before. You have the tiger claw, threading bridge, facing punch, and now the Ming Dynasty loyalist bow, fist being the sun, bomb being the moon. We hope you enjoyed this form.
Go ahead.
They will be demonstrating a more street fighting approach to the Gaudok techniques that we've been going over so far on the tape. The following is a dissection of the previous techniques shown. The techniques will show various doors and various types of defenses. In the beginning, the person is having an argument with the person in front of him. Originally, when he can't get by, he turns and sees the other person there. So he deflects, uses paw pai sao to stop the elbow technique. Then uses the Samsing Ngao Tan Gok to sweep him. Following are middle door attacks, Bong Sao, and the leg dragging hand. Snake shape, followed by the snake tail strike. Defending the upper gate with Chinji Sao. Tiger claw to the face. And tiger paw to the chest. Hawk Ying. And followed by Ngao Tan Gok again to sweep the opponent. Earth, crane hook to crane beak. And Jin Choi, the arrow fist to the chest. Earth. Earth. Earth strike, wood strike, and fire strike. The entire section is known as the Chatsing Lin Wan Kun.